so same thing. You're kind of leading into my next question. Let's talk about that external candidate. So when we talk about creating a good succession plan, we know that it is strategic with purpose. How can succession planning add value to recruitment?
Absolutely. So employees are seeking, especially employees of today, are seeking organizations where the organization is committed to the individual. So if they have two job offers and one of them has pretty much the same salary, but has a robust training and development program, has a career path that leads to upward progression, they're more apt to take that position than one that does not. Gone are the days that the only thing you looked for was pension, because many organizations, quite honestly, no longer have them. And quite frankly, many employees aren't going to stay long enough to become vested in 2025.
True.
Things have changed, and so organizations have to change with it. So the things that employees were looking for 20, 30 years ago are quite different from what they were looking for or what they're looking for in 2025. And so what they're looking for now is really an organization that values them, that puts their resources into making them the best they can be so that they can eventually either use it there or use it somewhere else. I tell people what that I coach, even when I was working within the organization, I want you to be successful whether you're here or somewhere else. I care about the person. And so sometimes this just isn't a good fit, but I still want to help you be the best that you can be, even if that means that you need to move on.
Yeah. So when it comes to that recruitment piece and the succession planning and having things mapped out, I have to share with my managers often. We know Gen Z is a little different.
Mhm,
Gen Z transitioned into the workforce during the pandemic. And so the thing I always say with my managers when we have these generational conversations is I stress to them, give Gen Z some grace and educate them.
mhm,
Because a lot of times you're like, they don't want to be here. But I know I've done the research and I'm sure you have as well. When it comes to Gen Z, they want to work,
mhm,
they want to grow, but they are a generation that is truly, truly digital and visual, and they have to see it.
mhm.
So, how does having a defined succession plan, career plan, pre-boarding, how does that add value to recruiting and sustaining individuals that are within that Gen Z generation?
I'll add, they not only want to see it, they want to see it and be able to attain it quickly, right? And so one of the things that I think is so great is that their mind typically is thinking about the most efficient way to do something. And because of that, sometimes other generations are a little put off by it because they quite frankly think they should be the director today when they when on their first day. But I think
Yes.
instead of looking at that as a bad thing, I think we should embrace that and look at that as a good thing and help grow them and help mentor them and train them to be that leader that they're looking to be. But I think if you have it clearly defined, so that career pathing is essential. So those organizations that literally have levels is essential because they can see. But if they come into an organization and literally it's them and one level and that person isn't going anywhere, what is that going to do for them? But if they clearly see, oh no, this organization has vested in this program, they understand that I'm valuable and they're going to invest in me. And these are the opportunities that could come from me participating in these different trainings or certifications, pre-certifications, and those types of things. If they see that I agree, they'll be more willing to um, stay at an organization longer. Many times people will start at an organization and go to the next one within months because they're still interviewing.
Right.
And so that's why that pre-boarding and that onboarding is important. Not only is the organization making a decision about fit, so is the individual making a decision about fit. And so not only have it listed, but actually work that succession plan and let people see that you're actually putting those practices into place.
Tisha, have you ever had a time where you were working with the organization or even in a conversation with someone, and there were misconceptions about the purpose of having a formalized, structured succession plan.
Yes, absolutely. I've had certain generations feel like we're trying to push them out if there's a succession plan. I've heard people think that um, we value one generation over the other because there's a succession plan, and just because there is a succession plan, it doesn't mean you're leaving today.
Correct.
It just means that there's a standard of preparing the next generation for this opportunity, or as I mentioned, another opportunity that could come. And so I just think while the individuals are still in their current positions, those skills are still valuable. If
Yeah.
the leader is away and you've trained several other high performers, how much easier is it for that leader to have an enjoyable vacation if they know that their shop is being ran by people that are trained and prepared to fill in while they're away? Or if someone, God forbid, needs to be away for a medical procedure, if you have trained staff, then you know, doesn't mean you're leaving for good. It just means for a certain amount of time, the staff is trained to be able to continue to move the ship forward.
Love it. Thank you. Let's see. So make sure we have a little bit of time for Q&A, 'cause we do have some folks that have joined us live. Tish, is there anything else that you would like to share with our audience, just, at a very high level of understanding, like succession planning? It is important. You should be doing it. And if you don't, we've given you, Tisha Carter has given you her framework on how to ignite your succession plan. But is there
Absolutely.
anything else you would like to share with our audience today?
Absolutely. I just want to round it out by saying before we take questions that remembering that succession planning benefits the employee and the organization. The employee is more apt to buy into what the leadership has in mind. They're more apt to produce and excel in what they're producing, and the organization gets more productivity at the end of the day. So it's definitely a win-win for both. And now we'll take questions.